Welcome here again. Today we are talking about the mother's wound, the pain that comes from when you get hurt from your parents or possibly your mother. The mother's wound, why does it hurt so much? Why does it hurt so deeply? Because our mother, our first attachment figures, the ones we insistively turns out to for love, safety, and comfort. So when the bond is absent, conditional, or unsafe, the pains go deep into our bone marrow. It goes deep into our emotions. Now, the mother's wound isn't about blaming the mothers, but about naming the impact of growing up without emotional needs, emotional support, emotional nurturing every child deserves. Now, what is the mother's wound itself? How can we categorize it? The mother's wound is the emotional pain, unmet needs, and the last longing wounds that comes from having a mother who was emotionally unavailable, immature, critical, and neglectful. Yes, there are mothers like that. Immature, critical, and neglectful. It shows up when mothers couldn't attune to the emotional needs of their children. It shows up when mothers or parents shame or criticize their children instead of supporting them, expecting them to provide for their emotional support instead of parents providing for the emotional support of the children. Now, this isn't about one-time error or one-time mistakes or isolated mistakes of parents. It's about consistent emotional absence or harm that parent does to their children. Why does it hurt so deeply? It hurts so deeply because mothers are often seen as the safe place every child needs. When these needs are not met and the safety is missing, it feels like betrayal at the cause of your being. The wound cuts so deeply into the emotion, into the bone marrow of such child. When she wasn't emotionally present, it left you fundamentally unworthy. When she wasn't emotionally available, it left you as a child fundamentally unworthy of receiving love every angle or any aspect of your life. This is not about blaming the mother once again. It's about recognizing the impact of being emotionally unavailable and the unmet attachment needs. Yes, this isn't about blaming the mothers. It is about recognizing the impact of unmet emotional or attachment needs by children. Come to think of it, there are some hidden messages you must have absorbed from being emotionally absent, from parents being emotionally absent, and these are one of the wounds that leads to trauma. When these needs weren't met, you have heard indirectly or directly that you're too sensitive, you're too difficult, you are not worthy, you are not good enough, you are not worthy of receiving love, you owe me for everything I've done for you. These are words that comes from sensitive emotionally unavailable parents. These become inner voice that still echoes into adulthood. This is why mother's wounds are so terrible. Now listen to the core wounds it caused in you, the core wounds it creates in you. It gives you low self-esteem, fear of abandonment, fear of receiving no, shame for having needs, shame for you are not feeling unworthy of yourself or not worthy of receiving love, shame for having needs, and you are always not wanting to hear the word no, especially fear of abandonment because you cry for peace and you will always become people pleaser such that you can form a particular attachment to every individual you meet, so you dependly solely on their attachments. By doing so, you want to people please them. How does this shows in adulthood? This wound don't stay just in childhood. They shape how you relate to people, how you relate with yourself, how you give yourself self-worthiness of things, how you are able to carry yourself. These are wounds that determine if you have confidence or you are timid, and it shapes how you relate to people in the sense of people pleasing, overgiving in relationship, fear of settling boundaries. You fear setting boundaries. You, even if people hurt you, you want to please them, you want to keep them, you want to please them and keep them, such that you would not be able to set a boundary. And all of this happens in the mental health. It happens in our emotions. That is because you have not your emotional needs have not been met while growing up, and those are the forms of mother's wound, the effect of mother's wound that we are still talking about. Some of these also shows up as difficult in trusting people around you, difficult in getting close to people. You have trust issue, feeling like you are not yourself, or feeling like you are not good enough, feeling like you're not worthy of a particular statue, of a particular important place, feeling like you're not worthy of love, and also feeling lack of trust in everyone you meet. But society always says something like this often: but she is your mother. She did the best she could do for you. She is the best you could ever have. You should be grateful for her having you and sponsoring you or keeping you, which are part of our responsibility, or the parent responsibility while growing up. These messages or these words are what are used to silence survivors, silence them, and make it hard for them to acknowledge the impact of the pain they've gone through, of the pain they felt. But remember, that's not the end. Remember, it is not your fault. It is not the end. It is never the fault of a child to need emotional support or emotional guidance or emotional nurturing. You weren't too needy and you weren't too difficult. You are just a child that needs to meet for his own emotional needs to be met. Your mother's inability to nurture you was a reflection of her own wound, not your own worth. Children need self-love. Children need love, safety, and acceptance. It is their birthright. Children need love, acceptance, and safety. It is their birthright. It comes with a package of you having children. You have to love them, place a place for safety, and also being able to accept who they are. Because the cycle of inherited traumas has to stop. The world needs light. The world needs to see light and have these grown-up, consciously grown-up humans that are not filled with toxicity or narcissistic traits. That is why we are calling on to parents to use parenting, intentional parenting skills and conscious parenting skills, such that they can easily heal themselves from the inner out, to be able to give what they have. You know, of course, if you don't have love, it might be hard for you to give out love. So because of this, parents need to heal innerly and be able to pass the good part of their upbringing to their children. Parents need to grow consciously and intentional children that can stand for themselves in the nearest future. Many mothers pass down their own unhealed wound. If you never erase or care, if you are never erased or care for, you might want to give out what you have been told to do from ever since. Remember, it is not your fault. It is never the fault of a child to need emotional support or emotional guidance. You weren't too needy. You weren't too needy as a child. You were not too difficult. Your mother's inability to nurture you and guide you is a reflection of our own inability, of our own wounds that maybe she had gathered while growing up as well. And that's where trauma comes in. Reason why we say most parents should heal from their traumatic experiences as much as they have intended to have children, so that they don't pass it subconsciously or subconsciously to their children. Children need love, safety, and acceptance because it is their birthright. They need love, safety, and guidance and acceptance because it is their birthright. So you are not too needy as a child. You are not too difficult. It is what you need as at that time that your body and your emotion was craving for. The cycle of inherited traumas has to stop. The cycle of inherited traumas has to stop. The world needs healthy humans who are consciously groomed and nurtured, intentionally parented, not toxic. Or a cycle of toxicity and narcissism must stop with us. And this is a decision you have to make by yourself, inside yourself, that you want to relearn, you want to unlearn, and you need to train your children intentionally and consciously. Emotional needs is never enough. Emotional needs is never emphasized, and this is why healing through the mother series and discussions are what we take cogently to the heart. Being able to heal ourselves, our inner child that has been craving for attention while we were growing up. Also, being able to make the decisions that I am not going to reflect what I went through into the life of my children. These are things we need to say confidently to ourselves and make a decision about before or while we are grooming our children. Yes, we can do this. Many mothers pass down their own unhealed wound unknowingly, subconsciously. It is just like if she never received care, she never give care back to the children. She never give care to our children. Just like a word that said, you can't give what you don't have. But in reverse of the case is, if you are able to heal within yourself and consciously understand what you went through, consciously believe that you don't want it to happen or to be transferred back to your children. So healing through the mother series, healing through the mother's wound series, and every angle, we need to identify ourselves, our pain, the pain we went through while growing up, so as to be able to handle it correctly. If you are an intentional parent, if you are a conscious mom or a conscious dad, if you are a conscious and intentional parent, you need to make a decision within you that I want to groom a healthy adult. I want to groom a healthy adult because I want the world to have light, to see light, and be filled with healthy adults instead of the toxicity and the narcissism we see all around us. And I believe as we do this, we are changing the world. Yeah, my name is Ololade James. I am a Be Conscious coach and I run Be Conscious Coach Arena. Stick with me. I still have a whole lot of things to say. Trauma is real, but you are more real. You can heal from it. Bye for now.